So unless you want to be skirting around in your Fiat 500 like you're in Tokyo Drift, trust me, you don't need a car at uni. It's both unnecessary and uneconomical to take a printer with you to university. Sometimes students won't even ask your permission to use things. They'll just automatically assume that they were able to use it. Hey guys, it's Mihal here, and in this video I'm going to be telling you the things that you shouldn't take with you to university. But before we get into the video, if you haven't already seen the other freshers advice videos that I've uploaded, then make sure to click the info card in this corner where you'll be able to check out the playlist with all the freshers videos that you need before Freshers Week. I actually recently made a video detailing the things that you should take with you to university. However, on that video, I got a comment from Ziga saying I should also make a video on things that you shouldn't take to university. So I'd like to thank him for that and thank him for providing the video idea. And that is exactly what I'm going to be explaining in this video. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. The first thing I'm going to say not to take to university is going to prove to be a bit controversial, and that's pots, pans, and crockery. The reason I say this is because instantly, a lot of people, including myself, travel a far distance to university, and so you don't really want rattling in your car off pots and pans, literally just going like, because for a 150-mile journey, that's going to drive you insane. Not only that, things like pots and pans take up a lot of space, and believe me, you probably want to save your space for things like clothes and bedding, rather than pots and pans which you can get in your university city. I actually bought all of my utensils in moving weekend at Sainsbury's in Nottingham. So there was a Sainsbury's superstore and they were selling things for really cheap. It was only Sainsbury's basics. You don't really need like Tefal and other big name brands because you're only cooking at university, and chances are you're gonna throw it away after first year. So just go over to a local superstore in your university city and chances are you'll be able to find these things. If not, you've got places such as Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Wilko, Asda and more, and so you're going to be in good hands, and there really isn't a need to bring this stuff up with you to uni because you can get it in your university city. A bonus piece of advice regarding this actually is that if you don't cook within the first few days of moving in, you can actually use this as an excuse to be like to your flatmates, do you guys want to explore the city and go out to a restaurant and eat and get to know each other more? Because trust me, you don't want to be that person that just isolates themselves in their room from day one. And so it's the easiest way to not force conversation and simply by inviting people out for food. If they enjoy it, then that's good. But if they enjoy the chat, that's also good. And it saves you from cooking those first few days. You'll also be given a lot of vouchers within the first few weeks. It will almost be like spam, but you can get things like a Domino's pizza for £1 and it's usually like 10 inches in the first few days of freshers. And so there really isn't a need to make sure that you have pots, pans and crockery with you in the first few days of uni. So you don't need to transport it up with you. You can go ahead and buy it in your university city, no problem, especially considering how many places there are that you can get this stuff from. The second thing that you shouldn't take with you to uni is a car. Being a student without a car is already very expensive, so if you add the costs associated with running a car, such as the car itself, insurance, maintenance, fuel and whatnot, it becomes very expensive, and chances are you won't even get the best value out of running a car at uni. Not only this, whilst the car can actually be practical in terms of getting from and to home, other than that, it actually makes no sense to drive around uni city because public transport is actually quite cheap. So for example, in Nottingham, they do a student deal at the start of the year where you can get unlimited bus travel in Nottingham for only £259 a year. And believe me, you can easily get to £259 in fuel costs alone just by driving around your city. And so it just makes no sense to drive around, especially when you have to worry about parking, especially in a city like Nottingham as well, where parking is something like £4 for 2 hours and just difficult in general. So when you're just thinking about a bus where you don't have to pay for anything other than the actual ticket price or a bus pass, it makes so much sense to just stick with public transport rather than bringing a car up with you. And also, you don't want to become the designated driver out of your flatmates because trust me, they will use you, and if you don't offer them a lift, they will call you stingy and other names, and it's just not a good look. So unless you want to be skirting around in your Fiat 500 like you're in Tokyo Drift, Trust me, you don't need a car at uni. That was a joke, by the way. If you're at 500 Twitter, please don't attack me. Third on my list for things not to take with you to university are clothes that aren't in season. With uni wardrobes tending to be as small as they are, it makes no sense to bring up literally every single piece of clothing that you own to uni. After all, you're going to be moving in between your uni city and home. So when you're at home, you still want some clothes with you there. And when you're at uni, you want some clothes there. However, it makes no sense to bring something like denim shorts when you're heading into winter, and likewise, it makes no sense to have a fleeced tracksuit in summer. So make sure you pack according to the season, and with freshers being in September, so autumn, you do want heavier clothing rather than lighter clothing. So with there being 2 semesters generally, for September, you would want something like a puffer jacket, and when it comes to around January, you'd want something like a windbreaker. It's also inevitable that as a student, you're going to be lured into buying clothes, whether it be 20% discount at one store or buy one, get one half price. So it's better to underpack your clothes, because let's say you do underpack, then when you buy extra clothes, then you won't have overpacked. You'll just have a normal amount of clothes. The fourth item on my list is a printer, and surprisingly, I see so many students wondering if they need to take a printer with them, and also some students getting sucked in by back to school offers. It's both unnecessary and uneconomical to take a printer with you to university, as there are multiple printers across your university accommodation as well as campus. Often to print, it only costs something like 3p per page, and this is so much cheaper than if you were to buy a printer and then buy paper and then buy ink, because chances are you're not going to actually print enough to save money with your own printer versus using a university's printer. Not only would you be saving yourself money on things like paper and ink, you'd also be saving space in your room, and with most university rooms being quite small, trust me, you don't want a printer taking up the space. So overall, it's just best to stick with the university's printer, because like I said, it's very cheap to use it, and at the University of Nottingham, I think they give your first 100 pages for free as well. So when you compare that to buying a printer for say £50, ink for £20, and then paper for like £4, you're going to be saving a lot of money. The last thing on my list to not take with you are things such as a rice cooker, George Foreman grill, toasty maker, and etc. Not only are some of these things already provided by your accommodation provider, in catered sites, you actually can't bring things like a blender and a George Foreman grill with you, because it's apparently a health and safety hazard. And so if you were to bring those things up with you and to only be told you're not allowed it, then you've wasted your money, and it's just going to be sitting in your room all the time. Additionally, whilst self-catered students can take things like a George Foreman grill with them, because it is allowed in self-catered sites, I know it was for Unite students, students tend not to take great care of things that aren't theirs, and so you run the risk of people using your grill and literally, for example, not cleaning it properly, or just leaving it on the side and just not taking, well, good care of it. And even sometimes students won't even ask your permission to use things. They'll just automatically assume that they were able to use it and still not treat it right, which to be fair is just a bit of a piss take, but it happens at uni, and so that is why I advise that you don't take things like a blender or George Foreman grill with you to uni. But that is going to be it for the video, guys and girls. Those were my 5 things that you shouldn't take with you to university. I hope you did enjoy it, and I hope you found it useful. If you did, then make sure to let me know in the comments below what other things you would like to see from me in regards to freshers content or any other questions regarding university. But we're gonna end the video here. Make sure to follow me on social media, that's @MahelKhan on Instagram and Snapchat. Follow me on Snapchat especially, as I will be posting stories relating to university, A-levels and more. But also Instagram as well, as I'll be posting obviously university content there as well. On Twitter, that's @MahelX, and official MahelKhan on Facebook. Again, let me know what videos you want to see in the comments below, and if there are any questions you have, make sure to let me know in the comments below, or on my Instagram DMs, only if you are following me on Instagram. And once again, thank you for watching this video. If there are any other videos that you would like to see from me, again, there will be a playlist in this corner for freshers videos. And I've been Mahel, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.